But first, a young man raising quite a few eyebrows in this country. Lukas Van De Vrede is an integral part of several clubs in the UAE. Earlier this year, he joined an All-Stars match at Expo 2020 Dubai and gave some of the legends of the game a bit of a runaround.
Trying to force his way into some space. He's found some.
Lukas with a shot. What a goal!
Oh my word, what a goal!
Lukas Van De Vrede.
Lucas.
18-year-old player here in the UAE. He plays for Forsan España. And what a goal that was.
Superb goal.
Great
and
finish.
Once again, comeback galore from
Would you
Team
consider
Batman.
it the best goal we have seen so far?
I think it is. We're watching a replay of it now. Lucas picking it up and curling
What
an
a finish
audacious
that
shot
was.
Into the top right-hand corner of the net.
No
oh
mistake.
my word. He just lifted it.
It was amazing. He would get stuck in. He was an amazing player back in his time, and he might be
Robbie
doing here
Keane
the
with
second.
the chip, surely! And it is, it's
Lucas
a second
again.
goal for Lukas Van De Vrede after Robbie Keane had chipped an audacious little shot over Mohamed Faisal. And Lukas Van De Vrede showing a poacher's instinct to lurk at that far post and tuck it away. And that's his second goal.
Yes, a pleasure and a beauty to watch, Robbie. Lucas seems to be very, very talented. It's the first time I'm watching him play. He looks to be very, very talented. Looking forward to see more.
Might need a lapse of concentration. It might need an error to decide this one. It might need a moment of brilliance from this man on the ball. Lukas Van De Vrede with his left foot.
It's either with his right, with his left. He's quite complete.
He's been the player of the tournament for me, Pedro.
Very good, very good.
Wow,
Lucas.
then, the youngster.
So I will finally understand if he's right or left-footed, Robbie.
Right then.
I think he's right-footed, but he also takes.
He looks pretty two-footed to me. He's going to take this right-footed. Lukas Van De Vrede, 14 Pac-Man from the spot.
Nice, nice.
Sumptuous.
Penalty. Yeah.
Absolutely sumptuous.
Very good, Lucas.
Here comes Luis Figo.
Congratulations, Mabruk. A good future ahead of him, for sure.
Indeed, I've been so impressed with him.
So you can see why he's raising a few eyebrows. By the way, that was Pedro and Robbie Greenfield on commentary there. So I'm delighted to say Lukas joins us in the studio now. Before we get into where you are in your career so far, young career so far, what was that match like to play in?
It was a crazy day, I must say. When I got there and I saw the celebrities, I didn't really know what to think. You know, sharing the locker room with them, even talking to them, having normal conversations with them was unreal, I have to say. It didn't feel real.
And it was interesting because you had Bakary Sagna, you had Patrice, Evra, Silvestre, other players there as well. Yeah. But you didn't seem to be overawed by it. You seemed to be relishing the chance to show them a thing or two.
Yeah, I was actually, it's one of those days that I didn't know what happened. I only knew like 24 hours before I was going to play. But when I had the opportunity, I was like, yeah, this is my time to show what I can do.
Lukas, on the pitch, who impressed you the most?
I think Figo. Figo was really calm with the ball. Everything he did was so fluid and smooth. And also Patrice, Evra, and Robbie Keane.
You had a great chemistry with Robbie Keane. At least 2 assists we just saw from him to you, right?
He told me off a bit when I would miss a few chances, but it was great to learn from him and Patrice especially.
So you've got the top on there. Forsan España is the name of the team now. It was recently changed, and obviously another very big legend connected to that, Michel Salgado. Just tell us where you are in your footballing career and how you've got to this point so far.
Okay, so before turning to Forsan España, we had an academy called Spanish Soccer Schools. We'd go to a lot of tournaments abroad, thanks to Michel's connections. And basically we built our way up, and in summer of 2020, I believe, after lots of talks, they decided to become a club with a first team, and we integrated the second division. And this season we actually won the second division, so we're promoted to first division next year, and that's where we are.
Exciting times, isn't it? And for you yourself, it's interesting because we talk to a lot of coaches and top players in the Ad Noc Pro League as well about the pathway to get there. Is that obviously you want to be a professional footballer, but at the moment, what do you see as your pathway?
At the moment, I'm training with the first team, and my goal is to become a regular, like a base player from the first team, and to hopefully next year, I would hope to be, a core member of the team and be playing for that team in the first division. That's my goal.
Lukas, how would you describe yourself as a player for those watching at home?
I would say unpredictable, because I can use both feet. Fast. I have a bit of flair sometimes, and yeah, I think those are three main things.
I know you play up front, but what is exactly your favorite position and role?
I prefer the left wing the most.
Okay.
Because sometimes if I'm playing striker against big defenders, I struggle with the physicality, and I like winger because I get a bit more space to cross or to come inside and shoot. So yeah.
I heard you played a great match yesterday against Alain. Let's not talk about the score, that's not the most important. But how did you feel playing against professionals from the UAE?
It was a great experience, especially to learn, because the time you have on the ball is so little, but you have to play really simple football, As Cruyff said, that playing simple football is the hardest thing there is. So, and I really understood that, because yesterday, first touch on the ball, I tried to do what I would do in under-18s, and I got the ball taken away. So I realized, okay, it's not the same kind of game. It's really the speed, the intensity, the physicality is really on another level.
You've clearly had your football education. You mentioned Cruyff there.
Yeah.
So you are a mixture of Dutch and French with a bit of Welsh, we found out
correct.
as well in you. So, but what do you consider yourself to be if somebody asks you?
If I was to pick a national team to play for, I would take the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's talk about where you are then. You're at Forçan España, and you're going to be in the first division, which is quite the division to be in.
Yeah.
The possibility on the horizon then of getting to the ADNOC Pro League. I know, let's not jump ahead, which then makes you a professional footballer. And is that the life that you want to have for yourself?
That's my long-term goal, is to hopefully, first I need to become a part of the first team, play games and all that, because at the moment I just train with them a few times per week. But yeah, if that would happen, that would be really good.
And you're obviously playing under Michel Salgado's guidance at the moment. We saw you there playing with some real legends of the game, but of the current players now in the top divisions around the world, not necessarily your favourite player, but is there a player that you try to emulate who is closest to your style of play?
There was one player where he's retired now, Arjen Robben.
Oh yeah.
But if I'd have to say a current player, I really like the way Mbappe plays. I try to, of course I'm not as fast as him, but I try to, the step overs he does, the quick shots into the bottom corners, those kind of quick attacks, that's what I try and do. That's more my style of play, I think.
Yeah.
I like the way he plays.
Yeah, great choices. Two great choices.
Yeah.
And do you have a favourite player apart from that, apart from Mbappe, or is he your favourite player as well because he plays the way you want to play?
No, Arjen Robben, actually, my favourite player. The way he would always cut in, it was so simple but so effective, and it always worked. And yeah, I grew up watching that 2010 Netherlands team that went to the final. And that's how I fell in love with the game, basically.
Lukas, currently, is there any particular team and/or league that you would like to play in Europe?
If I had the chance, I'd say Ajax. Ajax, because I think especially for young players, they really create amazing talent. I don't know how they do it, but I'd say it's one of the best academies in Europe. Yeah.
How challenging it is to play in the UAE, having in mind the circumstances. You've been here for 11 years, so you're pretty much adapt. But still, there are circumstances different from Europe. What are the main challenges for you to play here?
I think it's definitely harder here if you, as an expat, to make it, because I know the rules now are not as strict, but before it used to be, for example, if you wanted to play for a local team, I think only 3 players could be non-locals. So that was always a challenge for us. And, you know, we couldn't participate in the local leagues either. So it was always tough, but I think now it's becoming easier. They're giving more opportunities to expats and all that.
And at the moment, for the season ahead in the first division, like you say, you hope to become on the list every week to play in the team. What would your weeks be like when the season starts? Are you still studying at the moment, or is it just football?
So yeah, right now tomorrow's my last day of school. Then I have a few weeks of exams.
Yeah.
And then I'm done with school. So a normal week would look like pretty much like a week that I have now in under 18, just more intense and more demanding. I'm not sure. I think it's about four training sessions a week, 5 maybe, and then the games on any day of the weekend. Depends on the week.
Terrific. Yeah.
But was it challenging to conciliate both the worlds, the football world and the school world?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge to always organize yourselves, to make sure your deadlines are in for school, and then you're able to go to football in the afternoon. And especially this year, in my last year of school, I've been really tired, like never before. And yeah, I'm glad I'm going to be able to focus more on football now. But it was a challenge, but it's helped me. By combining these two things together, it's helped me in life, being more organized with everything.
More discipline.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, listen, Lukas, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for coming in today. And we were saying before the show that when you are playing in the World Cup final for the Netherlands and we want an interview, just remember that
I will.
the UAE Football show first, and we just need 5 minutes with you for our Instagram. Lukas, thank you so much for coming in. Best of luck with your career.
It was a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.